Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm going live. It's saying it's live now. So if you can see that it's live, if you can just post a comment down below to let me know that I'm definitely live. My screen's showing me on live. So I'll just get a minute for that. But I just want to introduce myself. I'm Beth, and welcome to Body Basics by Beth. I'm so excited about today. And thank you for joining me live today. If not, you might be catching the replay. But today is all going to be about time management. And if you're like most people, that has probably been a consistent issue. If not for you, someone you know, many people you know. So we're going to dive into that in a second. First, I'm going to start off by just telling you a little something about myself. My background is I have my master's in exercise physiology. I've worked as a personal trainer. I've worked as a coach for cross country and track. I am currently have been for over 10 years now as a department head for a health and fitness science program at a local college. And I have an extensive history in health and wellness. I have been in this field for over 25 years and love it. It's a passion of mine. I'm very passionate about being healthy and wellness and helping other people become healthy and help them on their journey to wellness as well. And it's been great to watch people kind of progress through their own journey, as well as not only their own journey, seeing numerous students, personal training clients, athletes that I coach, kind of take their knowledge and share that with their family and friends. So I thank you for joining me today. And this will probably be about 20, 25 minutes, depending on questions and things that are asked. But this is time management is one big issue that a lot of people struggle with. I know I've dealt with it. I have, I'm a single mom of 4 kids. I have 2 cats. I have a bunny. We just got a puppy yesterday. I have a full-time job, and in the last 6 months, I've started 2 other side jobs, 2 other businesses that I'm trying to build and grow. This is part of it. I am so passionate about this field that I'm trying to grow not only personal training / wellness training, but also success results coach. And this is part of that. So this is part of the training that goes along with that. And the other one is my network marketing business for, the skincare beauty products that I've been selling. And let me tell you, these things have been awesome. Over a year or so ago, I would have said there's no way I could have done any of that with working a full-time job, raising 4 kids, all their activities, the pets, everything else. But I'm here to tell you that there is a way. And it all comes down to the way we look at it, our perception of it, as well as how we think about time. So part of what we need to think about, let me skip over the slide here real quick. One thing I want to note on is, what is your relationship with time? What do you hear other people saying about time all the time? I know what I've said in the past, and I've gone through kind of looking at myself and my life and feeling like I'm rush. It's like you jump out of bed and it's like you're going 80 miles an hour all day long until you crash back in bed. And that was wearing me out, wearing me down. So I was like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. Well, I'm here to tell you there is. So part of that is looking at, what is your relationship with time? How many times have you heard people say, there's not enough time in the day? I have too much going on. I don't have enough time to get this done. Time's slipping by. That all comes back to that feeling, that sense of lack of time. And when you have that feeling, that sense of lack of time, it's going to create that feeling of stress, overwhelm, like you don't have enough time. You've got this long list of things to do and not enough time to do it. Like I said it repeatedly. I've heard numerous other people say it repeatedly. And we really do time a disservice, because time is just time. So you have to really take a good hard look at your relationship with time. And that should be the main focus of thinking about time management. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. So if someone's saying they don't have time to do something, do they really not have the time? So think about that. Think about the things that you're doing throughout the day. Why are some people able to, have a full-time job, maybe have a side business? How come they're also able to maybe go work out on a regular basis? That's in my field, health and wellness. Number one reason people don't work out. They always say, I don't have time. Like I said, I'm a single mom, 4 kids. I work a full-time job, start 2 businesses. I find time every day to work out. It's just part of what I do. It's just part of my daily routine. So that is not a valid excuse. People might say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't meet you today. I don't have enough time. They might say, I can't get this to you today because I don't have enough time. But when you really start looking at busy people do get things done. I see that comment there. But even that mindset of being busy, that is a feeling, that feeling of being busy. Are you busy or are you being productive? So there is a difference, because we might run around crazy busy and not actually producing anything. We're not actually being productive. So our focus is going to be on that mindset. What is your relationship with time? What does that feel like? And, are you being productive? So I'm going to show you this next slide here. And this is a model. Like I said, the sense is not enough time. We don't have enough time. Too many things going on, not enough hours or minutes in the day. So this is a set model, and today we're using it for time, but you can use this for anything. So the circumstance that we're talking about is time. So what are your thoughts about time? Never enough, too little, too much going on. There's too much on your to-do list to get anything done. There's lack of time is the underlying thought process there. So how does that make you feel? I know what I used to feel like. I used to feel stressed, overwhelmed, like I was burning the bridges at both ends because I'm going crazy all day long trying to get things done. So what is that action? You feel that spin. You're just kind of spinning, and then it's scattered action. It's not focused action there. So you're kind of spinning around, and you might be busy. You might be real busy throughout the day, but how productive are you really being? So, and the results of those actions, you're not moving forward. You're not seeing any growth. You're not being productive. You're not producing the results that you want. So when I say this all comes back to your thought process, you guys might want to cut me out right now. You might not want to hear that. You might say, you don't know what I have going on, and there isn't enough time in the day. But it really does come to your thought and your relationship with time. Like I said before, everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. So I know what I've been doing in the last year. I started approaching and thinking about time differently. I started looking at the circumstance time. Like I said, you can use this for anything. And my thoughts were, when I have a lot going on, instead of thinking I don't have enough time, that feeling of lack, instead of having that thought, I start thinking I have plenty of time. I start telling myself I have plenty of time. I'm going to get everything done. I will get it done. And I'll be calm, and it'll be, I'll be productive. So that thought process changed. And so therefore, since I changed that thought process, what kind of feelings do you think changed? Those feelings, instead of feeling stressed and overwhelmed, they brought about more peace and calm. I'm going to slide on to this next slide. And those actions produce more focused action. The spin stopped. I was able to progress, be productive. The spin stopped, and it was more focused, intentional actions. I know I used to come in, I was like, I don't know if you've ever seen like a little dog, there's squirrels running around, they're over here, over there, over there. That's how I used to feel. Once I start changing that thought and start telling myself, there's plenty of time, there's plenty of time, there's plenty of time, then that feeling of peace and calm comes over. And then that stress level goes down, and I'm able to focus and, get into that focus action and really get productive. So the results, accomplishing my goals, checking off all that stuff on that to-do list, and moving forward, progressing forward, which is what we ultimately want to do in order to move on in life. My main motto is, one of my main mottos, I have several, would be, no matter how fast or slow, you should always be moving forward. That's growth. If you're not, think of it this way. If you're not growing, would you be happy with where you are today if this is all you ever accomplished? Seriously, would you be happy with where you are today if that's all you ever accomplished? Because if we're not growing, if we're not moving forward, there's no growth. And then you're just get the same results. If you keep the same thoughts, you have the same feelings, that produces the same actions, therefore you produce the same results. Once again, some of you might think I'm crazy for even saying this, but trust me, it works. I've partnered up with the Proctor Gallagher Institute. That's one of my businesses I've started off, and so excited to be working with them as a results coach, which really ties into my health and wellness field. And a lot of it is every circumstance, going back to that mindset. How do you really think about it? And there's over hundreds of years of documented cases where these methods work. Over hundreds of years of these documented cases of these methods actually working. So really think about your relationship with time. And I'm going to kind of show you here on this next slide how this really kind of works. All right, so here, this is you. This big part on the top, that is your mind. So we're going to break it down to just two main parts of your mind, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And those little antennas at the top, they're picking up all your senses, your 5 senses. Because that conscious mind is more your intellectual mind. It's your thinking mind. It's where, you go to school, you think, all the information goes in. But with your conscious mind, you decide what actually comes in and what does not. And that's going back to the senses at the top. Sight, hear, taste, smell, touch. So those actually pick up all these senses and come into your intellectual mind. Those could go back to your news, your social media, your Netflix. What is actually going into that conscious mind? But it is up to you what you allow in or not. Your subconscious mind is more the emotional mind, the feeling mind. So if you have these thoughts and there's usually emotions attached to them, they go into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind controls your habits, which basically is your behavior. So the repetitive motion, I'm not going to say that in respect to time management that I said one day, hey, I've got plenty of time, and then everything changed. No, this was a repetitive thing, and still it has made such an amazing difference in my life, because I do have a lot of different things going on, but I look at it differently. I have a whole different thought process. And another one of my big mottos I say is that you change your perspective, you change your life. So by changing that thought process, and really gave me a sense of peace and calm, and I have been able to get a lot more done. I'm not snapping at the kids. If you're overwhelmed, you start snapping at people. I don't have that anymore. So it has made a difference, not just in my life, but my kids' life. And this is like a ripple effect that can have an impact in your own life. So you have the conscious mind, thoughts, intellectual thoughts that go in. It's up to you whether you allow them in or not. Subconscious mind is repetition. So, if you've been telling yourself and been hearing for years, there's not enough time, not enough time, not enough time. That is what creates your habits in respect to time management. So you're always thinking there's not enough time. So you're always going with that feeling of being stressed and overwhelmed. And that creates that spin and that distraction, and you're unfocused, and it's hard to be productive and actually have good positive results. So I'm going to switch on to this next slide that'll show you a little bit more in depth. Like I said here, your energy is coming in that conscious mind, you choose your thoughts, your intellectual mind. And then in that subconscious mind, your thoughts cause your feelings. So if there's an emotion attached to it, and with repetition, think about how you would feel if you had that sense of peace and calm every day. I know how I kept thinking about it. I would tell myself, and I kept thinking about it. And sometimes I would still get overwhelmed. And then I'm like, all right, let's take a deep breath. I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time. So, and like I said, it's made a huge, this is like magic. It's made a huge difference in my life and allowed me to work a full-time job as well as try to, start in these 2 side businesses and raise 4 kids, 4 active kids, the ages 6 to 13. So they're all in there together. They're just over 6.5 years apart between the 4 of them. And not only that, like I said, we have the pets. Took in a puppy. I didn't want a puppy. That was kind of a very, 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 very last minute thing. I had no plans of getting a puppy, but I just said, you know what, we can do this. Well, we can adjust to, bringing this puppy in. And then in a few weeks, I'm going into another training that is going to be like 4 days a week, every month for 8 months. So I have that'll be a yoga certification teacher training that I've been wanting to do. So I've just signed up for that as well. So I just know that I have that sense, that thought that everything will get done. I will get everything done the way I want it to get done. And it has brought me that sense of peace and calm. So if you see here, you have the choice of what thoughts you put in there, whether positive or negative, it's up to you. And what you repeatedly put into that conscious mind will get into that subconscious mind. And a negative thought will be planted just as easily as a positive thought. Your subconscious mind will take in whatever you put there, but it doesn't decipher between what's positive and negative. And therefore, that controls your habitual habits. Think about you just getting up in the morning. Everyone has habits. Think about how you get up in the morning. What do you normally do? Do you find yourself going through the same routine without even thinking of it? Or another big one, if you're out there driving, how many of you have ever been driving? Thank you. The puppy is really adorable. I just saw it pop up. Have you ever been driving? All of a sudden you show up at home and then you realize, how did I get here? I don't remember the last 5 or 10 minutes. That was your subconscious mind taking over. That's a habitual habit because you've done it repetitively. So it takes over your body, causes the actions. Those actions cause the results. So if you continuously put the negative thoughts in there, you're going to wind up with negative results. If you continuously put the positive results or thoughts in there, that'll transmit into action that leads to a positive result. So I've been drilling these things into my kids' heads as well. So I have them, they get up every morning, write their gratitude list and some positive things. And, like I said, it is a learning process and a learning curve. And they're still little, they're still young. All right. So just this other visual here. This is from Neville Goddard. So basically what it's saying is whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. So think about that. Think about an athlete who is trying to perform at a high level. You think they're going to go out there to practice one day and excel? No, they have to go through it. It's a skill. They're going to have to keep doing it over and over and over again. You think Tom Brady says, hey, I'm at the top of my game. I don't need practice anymore? No, he has working with all sorts of different coaches and people to hone his skill, and he does it day in and day out. That's why he's able to do what he does at his age, which is still impressive. I can't say I'm not a Patriots or a Bucks fan, but I am very impressed with what he's been able to accomplish. So think about that. The subconscious mind, what you plant and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become reality. So if you just continually think about time, of having plenty of time as opposed to lack of time, you, with repetition, will plant that in your subconscious mind. With that emotion, think about how that peace and calm and focused intentional action would feel like, and being productive and getting things done. So that will ultimately be your reality. I never thought I would be there, honestly. I haven't been doing this but for so long, and I've been doing little pieces at a time. But this has been huge because, like I said, when you're getting up and you're rushing around, I've changed my whole morning. I've changed my whole morning routine because of this. And it starts my day with a sense of peace and calm that leads me through the whole day. I'm much calmer. I'm much easier to respond to the children when things get a little hectic and out of hand. And I don't know if you've noticed this, any of you that have kids, when they start to act up, if you start snapping back, that just heightens the intensity in the room. So it has made a huge difference in our lives. So hold on, I've got some things popping up over here. So thinking about that model that I showed you, the circumstance, today we're talking about time, but like I said, you can use that for anything. Think about money. Money's another huge one that people think a lack. You know, close to 95% of the population thinks of lack of money all the time. So if you're constantly thinking of lack of money, that's going to emit that feeling of stress. Maybe, oh my God, how am I going to pay that bill? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? That creates an action. And then you end up getting a negative result. You just keep staying on that spin. You can't keep winding up with the same result, with the same thought and the same actions. So if you start even changing your thoughts about money, I have plenty of money. Money is coming to me. I have it. Think of it in the present tense. You will start seeing changes there too. But like I said, time management is huge. I have some students that are in here today as well. And that I've been teaching the college between Craven Community College and here at Coastal for over 14 years now. So that has been a consistent thing with students, you know, trying to figure out their schedules, particularly at a community college, because that's a little different than a college or a university. Colleges and universities, a lot of times students go and they're there for 4 years as a full-time student. They might have a little side job here and there. Most of my students, they're in school full-time, some part-time, most of them are full-time, but they're raising families, they're working 1, maybe 2 jobs. And so trying to work on that time management and work on that skill. And the thing is with time management, or with time, it really gets a bad rap because it is probably one of the most widely used excuses. And not only is it widely used, it is one of the most accepted excuses out there. Most people say, oh, I don't have time for that. Oh, okay. And they just take it. But you can actually change that perspective, change that thought process, which ultimately changes those feelings, changes your actions, and then you see positive results. And if you don't believe me, I will challenge you to go out there for at least 1 week, write up the thought process, positive thoughts. Just write it down in the morning. What is your positive thought process of time? Think about, I have plenty of time. I've done plenty of time. Maybe even say it to yourself in the mirror in the morning. Read it out loud before you go to bed. And remind yourself throughout the day when you start feeling tense and that stress and overwhelmed, start repeating that mantra to yourself. You might even record it and replay it to yourself in your own voice. And see how you might shift your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and those results. I think that is about all I was going to have to cover. And along with this, like I said, change your perspective will truly change your life. And I have this last slide here. Perception, change your perspective, change your life. If you look at this, you might see a guy playing the saxophone, or some of you might look at it and see a woman's face. So I can look and see both at different times. So just changing that perspective can truly change how you see something. So if you change the way you look at something, then what you're looking at will gradually change. Another thing they say to think about doing is working on this. It's a daily thing. And this is, like I said, it's a repetition and implanting that into your mind and your behaviors to see those positive thoughts. Yes. What is the question? Someone has a question. You can just type it in the comments below for the questions. So, if you have any questions, go ahead and post those in the comments down below. I am going to add this link for the PowerPoints. I will add it to the comments in the Facebook group. If you're interested in this, you can also message me or send another comment. Won't be able to. Do you feel, this is the question, do you feel like sometimes you won't be able to accomplish all that you want? Sometimes I feel like that when I look at what all needs to get accomplished. But like I said, I keep telling myself I approach it with a sense of calm and peace now. I used to think like panic and oh my gosh, because I grew up like that. I mean, that was how my parents were. That's what I was surrounded by. And that's how most of us are. We usually grow up mimicking the same things, the thoughts, the processes that we saw and grew up with. So I'm gradually changing. It's kind of what they refer to as a paradigm. It's basically what creates this habitual, your habits, your behaviors, your thought processes, your experiences. So there are times where I might feel like, oh, there's a lot going on. How am I going to do this? But I start repeating to myself, I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time. And repeat that, as opposed to thinking of that I have plenty of time as opposed to that lack of time. So every time you start going back to lack, that creates that feeling of stress, overwhelm, and leads you to that spin, unfocused, unproductive activity. So yes. And you know what? I've also learned in accomplishing my goals, it's okay to tell people no, that I'll just say, I have other things I'm focusing on right now. I don't want to say I don't have time. And I've gotten to the point of, I don't want to say I'm really busy. I'll say I'm being productive. So I just kind of changed the wording. Yes, I do write. I will schedule things down. I have learned, I used to come to my office, and if I hadn't written what I was planning on doing that day, I would come in like, oh, where do I start? There's so much to do. I don't know where to start. So I've learned that, I know for me, and I know this works with a lot of people, you might have to find your own system, but I will write out my schedule for the next day, the night before. And I'll even break it down. I break down everything. Like, this is when I'm going to sleep. This when I'm getting up. This is when I'm eating. This is when I'm showering. This is when I'm working out. This is, when I'll schedule, with work and the different jobs, I will time block. And here's the thing, when you schedule and calendar things, you need to have calendar integrity. That means stick to what you plan on doing. So that's part of what I say. Not only is it, do I have plenty of time? It's, I know I'm going to accomplish what I plan to do. And I feel confident that I'm going to get these things done. And I've learned not to overschedule. That's one problem. People think they overestimate how much they're going to get done in a certain amount of time. Particularly with these side businesses I have going on, I have to schedule around my full-time job. I have to schedule it around kids and their activities. So I get up very early. I get up 5 o'clock in the morning. That allows me some peace and calm. I have a morning routine that I do some studies. I get my workout in. I get all this in before the kids even get up. So that allows me to get focused, and it allows for such a calm, peaceful, focused, intentional activity, and it sets my day off. So I do, like I said, planners are great. They don't change how someone is. They can help you. I mean, it's nice, you can write it down, but unless you change that mindset, you're going to continue to get the same results you've always gotten. Are there any other questions? Okay. If you are here from one of my classes, just put in the comments or message me that you're here with the class. I think in the email I sent you all, just to type here, health, whatever it might be. What would be the best way for a beginner to make time? It's not so much about making time, because like I said, we all have 24 hours in a day. It's thinking about creating time. So you have to take a good hard look at your relationship with time. What is it that you're doing? You get into, what are the productive activities? What are your goals? What do you really want to strive for? For me, I have a vision of building this company. So I have goals I have at my full-time job, and I have goals for my vision for my company. So that keeps me focused. And I've cut out other things. I rarely ever watch TV. I post things on social media, but more for business building. I don't scroll social media. I hear people always, I don't watch the news. So I cut all these things out. This allows more time in my day. So a lot of people are scrolling Facebook and certain, whatever social media, they're maybe binge watching Netflix. You know, maybe, so I schedule family time. I schedule some downtime with some friends. But all these extraneous things I cut out. So like I said, the kids might watch some TV. I rarely ever see the TV. I don't, and I pick up what's going on in the news just from overhearing people talk. That's one of the two things people talk about, whatever's going on in the news, if there's a big storm coming. So that's how I'm able to create time in my day. I don't take naps. I know I do schedule some breaks. For me, my break is maybe I'm going out walking, but I'm always usually listening to some content related. Like I said, I just partnered with the Proctor Gallagher Institute as a results coach consultant. So I am working on developing that training. In fact, I am going to be adding some more training such as this in respect to different areas of health, wellness, mindset, money, how to create and grow, be financially independent, to have that time freedom, financial freedom, health, wellness, and happiness. It covers all the bases. Like I said, that model of circumstance, thoughts, feelings, actions, results, you can plug anything in there. It can be time, like we talked about today. It can be money. What is your circumstance with money? What's your relationship with money? A lot of people have a very negative view of money. What is your relationship with other people, whether it's your spouse, significant other, your kids, your friends, your other family members? What is your thought process in relation to them? As well as, circumstances. We use circumstances a lot as excuses. So these are things I'm going to delve into as we progress in these lives on Facebook here. I have another one scheduled for next Monday on August 2nd at 1 p.m. as well. So I will be posting about that. So keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, my breaks are typically when I have my children. So I schedule breaks around that. I'll take them to the pool, go on the water. So that's my downtime. But to really have effective, focused action, have that peace, calm sense of those thoughts, along with calendar your events that you need to do, and have that calendar integrity, meaning stick to what you say you're going to do, and tell yourself, I am going to do what I say I'm going to do, and I'm productive. I have plenty of time. I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. I'm doing what I have scheduled, and I am productive. So these are all good, positive thought processes to repetitively put in your mind that actually help you. This is a whole different way of looking at time management. Most people just say schedule this, and that's part of it, but you also have to change that mindset. The body only does what the mind tells it to do. So think of it like that. The body only does what the mind tells it to do. All right, so I'm reading this is the Monday one extra credit. And you're done. This one will be extra credit. I have another. Those of you that are in class, there is another. Check your emails because I'll be sending you some information about an extra credit assignment. Do you make that just as a relaxing moment to spend time in? I do have, like I said, there is some downtime for me. Like my downtime might be doing yoga, going to a yoga class, maybe just out for a walk. But to me, that's my downtime. Some people's downtime might be sitting every now. I mean, with the kids, I will say I rarely watch TV. Sometimes when the kids are there, I might sit and watch a little bit of a show with them. But they were there this past week. I think I saw like 30 minutes of Shark Week. We pulled it up and started watching some of the Shark Week. But yeah, most of my downtime comes with the children. I schedule that into my day. I know, I'm in a situation where I have the kids week on, week off. So I get a lot more accomplished with respect to my other businesses when I don't have the kids. When I have the kids, I know I just have to change that schedule. And, it's summertime now. So a lot of you, your schedule, if you look at time management, you might want to replay this video, come back and watch it because repetition is key. And you might want to see, in another month or so, kids are all going back to school. So I'm going to have to look at my schedule and change things in according to the school schedule, not only my schedule, but the kids' school schedule, their sports and things that they're in, and readjust accordingly. This will be posted on here. If you were not able to catch this live, you can catch the replay. I just want to follow up if there weren't any more questions, or if you do have another question, please reach out. Whether you post it in the comment now, or if you are able to just message me through Messenger. Any of my students that are in here, you can also email me. But I appreciate you joining me. Like I said, this can have such an impact on your life by being able to change that concept, that thought process, that thought process, not only for you, but your family. It's like a ripple effect. And I found I've been so much more productive through this whole process. So I hope you are able to join me back here next week. Like I said, because I've just partnered with the Proctor Gallagher Institute, I'm in the process of building that and setting up some other live workshops along the way. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'm so very excited about that. This is like a whole other adventure for me. So, but I appreciate you joining me today. Keep an eye out. I will be posting the link to this PowerPoint down below. And once again, you guys have a very happy Monday, and hopefully I'll see you back here next Monday.